Welcome to the Jungle Discipleship School podcast. My name is David Small, and I'm going to be your host on this journey together today for the next, I don't know how long this will take, but anyways, we'll see where it goes. I'm glad you're with us. I'm really thankful for those of you who listen to the podcast, and if you'd be willing to share it with somebody, that also helps us out a lot. And so, yeah, but I'm just thankful for you being with us. And man, it's awesome to have a community. And as I've been reflecting on, we're starting the Jungle Discipleship School, and there's a lot going on with that. But one of the things that has kept coming up back to my mind has just been this idea of we're going to have church. And we're gonna, we're gonna build a little church on our school ground. I'd probably just use the classroom, but aside from the physical building, we're gonna get to reinvent the church. Maybe reinvent is not the right word, but we're going to start from scratch. And the way I envision it is like, okay, the first week we're gonna meet together for church. We'll do it on a tarp. And why? Why should we have a special building? What does the Bible say about it? And then do we want to do communion? Why? What does the Bible say about it? Do we want to add worship? Why? What does the Bible say about it? And add pieces to church week by week by week. And each time we add something to our service, we discuss it and we look at the Bible and we figure out why we're discussing it. And the real thing is that we are the church together. We're the church body, and the fact that you guys, the church, are listening to this podcast and are with us in this journey is just super humbling. I'm just really thankful for that. And anyways, if you wouldn't mind sharing it, it'd be awesome. We appreciate you sharing our TV show. And Fitzalin is currently up at the house working on episode 4. And the podcast as well, but we're thankful for all of you. We're thankful that you're with us, and I'm thankful to be in this place where I am. I'm sitting next to a river inside Burma right now, and I've got my feet soaking in the water because we've been doing a lot of walking lately. And I'm just enjoying the view and trying to stay out of the sunshine, and happy to be here. Okay, I think that we must have the most unique podcast recording studio in the history of the world. Take that, Joe Rogan. But anyways, so I'm now walking. I had to change my spot here and pause my previous recording, and then I lost my train of thought. And I was sitting on this rock with my feet in the water, and suddenly, and I thought I'm in this private little spot. I'm actually walking back to this spot now. But anyways, I was walking back, and suddenly this little villager stuck his head up over the rock and was watching me. Kind of scared me because I didn't notice him at first, and I'm sitting here talking to myself. But anyways, he came over very curiously and sat down beside me. So I paused the recording, and it's been a long day. It's been a hard day of just getting to where we're at now, and then I was just feeling like, normally we do the podcast on Tuesdays, and I don't want to record it right now. And I'm just feeling lazy and tired, and I'm just smoked. We've just had 2 or 3 long days. And so finally I sat down and started chatting, talking to myself here on the podcast, recording it. And just starting to get 2 minutes in, just getting the swing of things. And suddenly this guy comes over and sits down. And so I pause it, and he wants to talk, and then he wants me to teach him English, and then he wants me to look at pictures of his family, and then he wants to talk about his broken motorcycle, and he wants money, and he wants this and that. And I'm just thinking, like, a few times in the conversation, I was just like, well, okay, yeah, thanks, okay, yeah, I'll see you later, oh, yeah. And then he just stays, keeps talking, and I just couldn't help but think, like, hey, man, Jesus welcomed these interruptions, and nowhere in the Bible do we see Jesus have somebody come over and sit down next to him and start chatting with him, and then Jesus say, hey man, I'm sorry, I'm in the middle of my work, I'm too busy for this, so would you mind just scram? We never see that example in the Bible. And so I thought about that, and I kind of thought, like, man, you want to call yourself a missionary and you're too busy to talk to this guy? You're too busy to spend time with him and look at photos of his family and laugh with him and teach him some English words. And anyways, so we just spent the last 20 minutes or so together, and eventually I walked back up to the house, and then he took off back to wherever he's heading. And now I'm back. So here we are, round 2 of podcast introduction. But yeah, like I said, we've had a lot of walking in the last few days, and nothing major, but the big thing is just that it's just hot season here. It's smoking hot. Like, we're talking 30, 40 Celsius every day. And we've been walking on these trails and roads. And part of hot season is that a lot of the big leaf trees shed their leaves. And so you have no shade protection. You're just walking in straight sun, and you're just smoking hot. And we walked the other day from a village called Panepako all the way up to another village called Tekotoba. And it was a great walk. We did it in about 5 hours. And some of our guys decided they wanted to flag down motorcycles passing by and jump on the back. And that was not allowed at the time. And so, we kind of have this saying on our little mission that we're on right now is, where we go one, we go all. And if one of us has to walk, it means all of us have to walk. If we can't have enough motorcycles or cars for everybody, then that's it. Okay, then we don't just pick 1 or 2 that get to ride on motorcycles. We all walk. And so anyways, we got back to Kotoba, and there was a few of us that actually had walked the whole way. And so we called a team meeting, and we I separated the group. I said, okay, those of you who walked the whole way, stand on this side of the road, and those of you who didn't walk the whole way, stand on the other side of the road. And then I thanked the group that had taken rides, and I said, I just want to thank you, because you gave me stuff to think about. And when I have all these things to think about while walking, then I don't think about my pain in my knees and my legs and how hot I am and how dehydrated I am. And I just am distracted, and they gave me these things to think about. And I thought up this fun game that we could play. And they all started laughing because they knew they were getting some punishment. And I had written down numbers on scraps of paper. And I said, okay, here on these 5 scraps of paper, I have the number 1,200. And on these 4 scraps of paper, I have the number 1,000. And on these 3 scraps of paper, I have 800. And on these 2, I have 600. And on this 1, I have 400. And then I had 1 extra scrap of paper, and on it I drew the cross. And I said, the cross is forgiveness. The cross is grace and mercy, and you have no punishment. And so then we crumpled all the papers up into Gana's hat, and I said, okay, Bere, you come over, since you were the first guy to jump on a motorcycle, you come over and pick out a number, and whatever number you pick out, that's how many push-ups you need to do collectively as a group. And so that means, okay, if you get a big number, then Bere does 50 and Tere does 50, now you're at 100 push-ups. So, but if you pull out the cross, you're completely forgiven and you have no push-ups. Your punishment is gone. And so they all kind of laughed about this little game. And then Bere reached into the hat and pulled out a number and gave it to Gana. And of course, it was 1,200 push-ups. So the boys did 1,200 push-ups as a group the other day. And anyways, it was a fun little thing. But the next day we walked, and we had a big climb, 1,000 meters straight up the side of this mountain. And yeah, it was just smoking hot. And we were tired from the 5 hours walk the day before. And then that was another probably 3-hour walk. And then in the middle of the day, 2 in the afternoon, walk right back down the mountain. And And then, yeah, today, another short walk, but steep climb, another hour and a half walk today. And so just multiple days walking in the hot sun, and we're all fairly smoked. We're all pretty tired, and we're happy to be looking at 2 days of rest here. So I'm soaking my feet in the water. I'm happy to be with you. I'm happy for interruptions, and I'm really thankful for our team. And so I'm going to hand it over to JaLa, who's going to share the news with you. So over to you, JaLa.
Hello, I'm JaLa. I'm from the Kachin end of Burma. Now I want to talk about Burma news and what is happening in Burma. First, I want to talk about the Kachins. About 80 of the Burma military troops and officers surrendered at the Boyan on March 8th. The Kachin army says they already took almost 20 Burma military camps since the start of the border of that is beginning core operation 0307 in Waimo and Momok and Pakan townships and along the Sky border. The Burma military's footprint in the Kachin state is they barely get damaged a lot. On March 9, the Kachin and the allied PDFs captures 2 more camps near the Free Kachin capital Liza. The same days, the Tamakan and the Burma military battalion's camp fell in the Pakan townships after a 2-week the seasons. The residents and weapons their surrenders. That's why the Kachin Independent Army captures a lot of the weapons. The 70s Burma military troops remaining in the base regions that leave without their weapons after 7 days were killed and 20 were captured in the battle. They didn't surrender, however, and they still had weapons, so the Kachin army attacked them twice in the days, capturing many of those weapons. In this Sumbrabum townships, 30 policemen defeated to the Kachin site. The Kachin army also now I want to talk about Kodule. The current army and the Cobra column is continuous. They are taken in the began on March 7. They already taken the police board at Tenyin on March 9 and killing 90 troops of the Burma militaries. Between that and the battalions can take the previous day, the current captured more than 140 rifles, 6 army trucks and mortar and a lot of ammunition. 2 other battalions can remain under the attack. The vice of a camp commander was killed, and 6 current army soldiers have death. So far, the Burma military is continues their fighting and they are destroyed with airstrike and the bombing and the burning a lot of their village or what in their troops. They are coming the ways a lot of houses. And they stay fighting a lot in Arakan State, every brigades. That's why they have a lot of fighting, and the Burma military is continuing to destroy everything, and they continue to kill the civilians a lot. This is in Kroni State. Now I want to talk about a Kroni State. Kroni Defense Force captures a key of the break over the Swollen River in Pasang towns on March 9. The captures the drone, jammer, and a number of the weapons that suggestions over drones. The Burma military troops killed over kept 5 Burma military police defense to the Kroni Defense Force with full weapons, and this week 4 from the Pasang and 1 from the Bolakir. Now I want to talk about Arakan. The Arakan army captures a Burma military border post in Mount Township on March 12. Finding that the Burma troops and weapons as well, food and whether this is in Burma military have had financed. The Arkan Army AA killed the Burma military troops who fled from the defenders training camp in the Mimbia townships on February 27. The Burma military troops had taken the civilians, a lot of us human, just like a she's, they do it. One of the Burma military that was the commander colonel. Wonder and 777, the Burma military border police man from two camps flew to Bangladesh on March 11, just through AA attack in mountain townships. And most of she's fell by the Burma military fell inside the Bangladesh and killed and made 8 men. The AAC is now working to clear out the last remaining the Burma military camps from the northwest corner of our kinds, which will leave the last half of the stake liberated. Now I want to talk about the PDF in Sagais. They are trying to fight in the airports of the Burma militaries. In Dangu Air Base, they fight with the 107 mm shotguns, but they miss less. One thing is, but 2 is they trying to shoot with 3 shotguns, but 2 is can damage, but 1 is miss less. And also the PDF in Bago regions, Minla townships attack the Burma military tops and the Buzoti terrorists in the Yoma mountains regions for 4 days. They killed wounded 83 of them, the Burma militaries. And near of the Sagai townships, they have a lot of fightings, and the Burma military continues to ban, and the Burma military continues to kill the civilians a lot. And everywhere the Burma military troops is coming in a village, and they are destroying every village, and they destroying every house of their bannings. That's why a lot of people are continuing to run it. That's why we have a lot of IDP, and we have a lot of just like refugees. We cannot go out. We cannot go back our homes. A lot of people, and they need to. They still need a lot of help. Please help for them, and please pray for us. But thank you. You have a lot, and we can walk a lot. If you are, we can walk ourselves. But if you have to us, we can walk more of our people. But thank you. Please pray for us, and please continue to bless to us. But thank you. May God bless you, all of you, and all of your family members. Thank you very much.
Thanks, JaLa. Yeah, the first day when we arrived, there was we heard the jets flying around, and we found out later that there was a bombing in Depuno, not too far from where we were. 1 soldier was killed, 1 soldier wounded, and yeah, it's and now today even the jets are flying around. There's a fairly major town called Papun, and there's a big offensive happening in the town. It's just over the mountain from us. So the recon jets and the fighter jets have been buzzing around. Yesterday there was an attack helicopter buzzing around, and yeah, it's got everybody on edge. It's got everybody. Most families have left the major villages and are now living. We call them airplane houses. They're living in their airplane house, which is just these little huts, kind of hidden away in the jungle. And yeah, anyways, we're here, and we're praying and thinking about what is our next step. Where do we go next? But yeah, today I just thought I would share a little update on what's happening on this mission. And man, it was such a crazy logistical nightmare to get here. But anytime there's this kind of just wild and crazy logistics plan, it always amazes me the way that God comes through, and God uses it as a way to show himself and reveal himself. And so before we got here on the mission, we were having our first ever kind of team retreat and team meetings, and it was such an awesome week together. There was about 15 of us at this house, that Airbnb house that we rented, and we just had an awesome time. The last episode of the podcast, we talked about that. But then the night we checked out of the Airbnb, and then we had one night back at my house. I had 20 people in my house, and it was pretty crazy. My house is not a 20-person house, but it was just a full fun house. And we had this plan. So we had arranged for some Special Forces Army officers to pick us up and help us pass the checkpoints. And this is a unique and interesting thing that we can do here, where, I mean, I don't know how legal it is, but we have illegals with us, but illegals need to move often through Thailand or from one location to another. And if you hire a Thai Army Special Forces guy, they'll pick you up and drive you, because they won't get stopped or questioned at any of the checkpoints. So they're able to have a truck full of illegal people and move them through the checkpoints and then drop them off on the border. And we even sometimes will get an official document, a piece of paper that says so-and-so is an illegal, but they're able to move through these checkpoints on this date in this truck with this driver. And so we do this process, and we had arranged this for 14 of our guys to go down to the border. And then suddenly the night before, we got a word that there was another 5 coming from Karenni. Beret and some of his team was coming down to join us. And I had originally said, okay, I want you guys just to meet us right on the border. But the way that their paperwork worked out was that they could only be driven to my house. So now I've got 20 guys, and at the last minute, I'm scrambling to find an extra truck that can help drive. And I've got these guys going on one day. I've got a meeting on a Monday, and then I'm going to follow down to the border and wait and then cross the next day. And in my crossing group, I've got another guy that just said, hey, I'm up in Karenni, but I want to take a boat down and just meet your team and join your mission. And then a third guy says, hey, I want to join your mission as well. And can you just pick me up on the side of the river? Like, no time, no real location, just I'll see you on the side of the river and meet you there. So like all this stuff is happening the night before we leave. And it's kind of crazy because the logistics of it is all unknown. And not to mention that, but we're trying to arrange trucks to pick us up and move our supplies and move our teams. And the guy who's organizing our trucks on the inside has no Wi-Fi, no phone connection. And so you're just trying to like send a message to somebody who's trying to send a radio message to somebody else. And it's all like a bit crazy. And it all worked out just flawlessly. And so it's amazing that we're here. And the logistics of it, you know, we picked up people along the way, picked up people on the river, and got ourselves to our mission place. And episode 3 of our TV show, we did an interview with Gana, and we were back with Gana for the last week, and man, what a joy it was. And on the episode of the TV show, we asked if anyone wanted to help. We wanted to build a house for Gana and raise some money. You know, sometimes his family, like right now, for example, they don't have enough rice to eat. And so we wanted to provide an opportunity for people to give. And somebody stepped up and said that they wanted to give us some money. And they realized, you know, at our school grounds, we have no school. We have nothing at our school grounds. It's literally just jungle. The last time when we went and found our school ground, we were sleeping in hammocks, and we had our little team meetings on tarps, and that's the Jungle Discipleship School right now. But so we've been hard at work trying to raise some money for buildings, and this donor said, you can use this money to build on your school ground, or you can use it for Gunna and building a house for him. And so I met with the team, and we have about 20 now on the mission with us, 22. And we got together, and I explained to them, I said, hey, listen, we've got no buildings of our own. And we've been given this money, about $3,000, to build a house on our school ground, or we can use it for Gunna and build a house for him, even though we have nothing. What do you guys think? And they unanimously said we should use the money to build it for Gunna. And so it's amazing, because even though we've got nothing, even though our school has not a single building, it's our team opted, and the guys, they're all excited to go after this mission and hopefully start building some of the buildings. And they are excited. We drew out these little maps, and okay, this is where we're going to put the classroom, and this is where we're going to put your house, and this is where we're going to put the student dorms and all these things. And so, they're excited to actually build something on our school ground and turn it into an actual campus. But they decided unanimously that the right thing to do is to make the first major building project that we do not for us, but for Gunna. And we called over Gunna after we had our discussion, and we told him, we explained to him that we wanted to come back and build him a house. And his wife is pregnant. She's probably about 6 months pregnant right now. And he was worried. He doesn't have a place to build his house. And so he doesn't have money to build a house. And so we were able to bless him with that. And we gave him a chunk of money and said, okay, you can use this to start collecting the wood and paying people to go and get the wood ready and pile it all up, get the location all set up where you're going to build it. And then in May, we'll come back with our team and we'll build you a house for you and your family, hopefully right before your first child arrives and the rainy season arrives, and you'll have a place of your own. And man, what a blessing it is to be able to do that. What a gift that is. And what an awesome team that they are willing to trust God in this process, that God will continue to provide for us. And anyways, it's just been that was a real awesome way to start. We did a great program in Gunna's village and blessed all the kids in that village. And then we went off to Panepa, and Sume and Ko, who were on the podcast a few weeks ago, just had a really special time back in Panepa and Limerpla, where they were able to reconnect with relatives they didn't even know they had. And every time Ko came back to the house, he was like, hey, I just met this guy who's now my uncle, who I didn't even know he was my uncle. And he was super excited, and just what a blessing it was to be there with them and do a program there. And Sume went over to Limerpla and visited a clinic that his family has been supporting for a lot of years. And their first time back ever in Kothule in Karen State since they were young. And Ko was able to go to the house he was born in, and the Burma army burned this house down, and that's why his family fled. He was maybe 3 months old when his family fled. And the beams of the big pillars of the house are still there, and another person has now built a house on top of the same pillars, but you can see the black char of the burn from when Ko was a kid, when he was born. And anyways, pretty surreal that he's here now, and just the way that God orchestrates all of these awesome things to be able to bless people and just to be on this a crazy journey together. And we did a program in Panepa and had a lot of fun there, and then did church together with them in Panepa, which was a lot of fun to just be a part of the family of believers. We had a request from the Karen Women's Organization to provide 50 Bibles for Panepa for the people there. And Rick and his family stepped up, because their ministry here is, their first ministry here is getting God's word into people's hands in Karen State. And they've developed this awesome little Bible that's light and easy to carry. It's got an awesome camouflage cover on it that the soldiers love. And and Rick said that he would gladly provide those Bibles for that village. And so, yeah, it's just cool. We're going to be able to provide 50 Bibles in Karen language to these people that we are going and meeting, and these new friendships and new relationships that we're forming. The last program that we did yesterday, way up on the top of this mountain, this was a super special program for me. If you've been following me or my 5-bullet newsletter, or just any kind of updates from me over the last year, you'll have known that in November, a good friend of mine named Daechi was killed by the Burma army. And Daechi was a really dear friend of mine. And in January, I was at Karen Revolution Day, and I was able to meet some of Daechi's relatives, his aunt, and some of his other relatives. They came up and introduced themselves, and I said, hey, I want to come in March and do a program in your village and just meet the rest of Daechi's family. And they said, yeah, please come. And so we went to this village, and way up, just straight up, it was 960-meter climb from the river up to where his village was. And when we got there, all the way up the mountain, I'm just kind of wondering, like, okay, how's this going to go, and what's this going to be like? And we arrive in the village, and okay, first I got to talk about our guide. I think our guide was Daechi's cousin, and he's this little guy, 17 years old, tiny little short guy. And he had come down to meet us, to guide us up on this trail, because none of us knew where we were going. And he's got a 22 rifle slung over his shoulder and on a sling. And he says, okay, this way, follow me down the trail. And he's wearing flip-flops, and he starts just walking, not running, but walking. And we could not keep up with him. He was walking so fast. And, the guys that I'm walking with, they're tough guys. Like, a lot of them are rangers. They are soldiers, and they had to, like, jog every so often just to keep up with this little guy. And he's just just walking, and we're sprinting to keep up with him. And anyways, amazing little guy. And then at one point, there's this bamboo fence, and it's got a little ladder, like maybe 3 steps up one side, 3 steps down the other side. And he sees something like a bird or a squirrel or something in the forest that off in the distance that he's going to hunt. And he just, boom, was gone like a blast. And he leapt the fence in one bound. He was over the fence. And I've never seen anybody move that fast, but tough kid. I think it's from all the climbing up and down the mountain. And anyways, we make it up to Daechi's village. And I didn't actually realize this at the time, but as we start setting up for a program, it's literally in Daechi's backyard. His house is like right there, and this is his backyard, and we're going to do the program just outside his house. And it's hard to not get emotional or cry as I talk about this or think about it. But as I hiked up the mountain, I just got this picture, and we were approaching Daechi's village, and I just got this image, and this doesn't happen to me often or regularly, but I just got this clear picture in my mind of Daechi standing next to Jesus. And Daechi was just so excited that we are coming to his village. I had never been to his village before. I had been friends with Daechi for 4 or 5 years, and he was a bodyguard first for General Baja, and then he was a commander of a base. And anytime I would see him, it would be at a military place, and I'd go out of my way to go and see him and continue our friendship over the last several years. But I'd never been to his village. I'd never met anyone else in his family, and I just got this picture as I was walking up of Daechi standing next to Jesus, and just this grin on his face, this grin like, I'm just so excited that you guys are coming, and the anticipation of the program and of us coming to their village and meeting his family. And I just know he would have absolutely loved that. And I just got this sense of Jesus's joy was in Daechi's happiness. Jesus was just smiling at Daichi, and Daichi was just smiling at us as we were huffing and puffing our way up the mountain. And I just had this image, this kind of feeling that they were smiling down on us as we went into the village. And then we were able to do, and then we were doing the program in his backyard. Like normally we do it at the school ground or at the church ground or just kind of in a big open area. And we've never done a program in literally outside somebody's house in their backyard. And we invited the whole village to come up and join us. And I walked into Daichi's house when we first got there, and I met his father, and they all look the same. Oh my goodness. And it was like I'm looking at Daichi. And then there's pictures of me on their wall. And over the years, Daichi and I kind of had this thing, and every time we would hang out, we would take a selfie together. And so over the years, we had dozens of selfies, and sometimes I would print them out. If I knew that I was going to get a chance to see him, I would go and print out these photos and laminate them, and I'd go and bring it to him. And he had brought these photos. I had no idea about this, but he had brought these photos home and gave them to his family and put them up on the walls at his house. And his family had this kind of area of the wall of their house that was photos of Daichi, of his gravestone, and then these photos of me together with Daichi. And the only photos up on the wall were of Daichi and the family, and then the only outsider that wasn't family was me. And it just really rocked me. It just emotionally caught me off guard. And anyways, we got to do a program, and afterwards Daichi's dad had killed a pig for us and had barbecued up some pork, and we all sat around after the program, our whole team, and just laughing and talking, and it was a really, really sweet and beautiful time. And I met Daichi's mom and dad, I met his brother, I met his sisters, I met his aunt, I met his grandma and grandpa, I met his uncle. And this is a pretty crazy story. So when we were down in Gana a week before, we were down at Gana's house, and where Gana lives, or where he's staying right now, is like it's this little shop that's run by the base, the commando base. And a lot of people, it's right on the main road, the only road, and there's like motorcycle traffic going by like crazy. It's basically a dust bowl, this house that he's sleeping in. But a lot of people stop and get gas at this little place because they have these 2-liter soda bottles that they fill up with gas, and that's kind of what people use to fill up their motorcycles. And anyways, I was sitting at Gana's house a week earlier before going up to Daichi's place, and I'm just kind of hanging out, sitting around, and we're had some downtime, and this motorcycle stops, and he's buying gas. And this is a common thing. 100 motorcycles go by a day, and maybe 50 a day. But anyways, as I was sitting and just doing nothing, I felt this nudge: go and pay for this guy's gas. And I kind of thought to myself, what? Like, there's 50 motorcycles stopping a day to get gas here. Like, I can't pay for everyone's gas. And man, I don't know about this. And also we don't have much money. But anyways, I thought, okay, I know that nudge. I know when I have a thought that is to me, not from me. And this was one of those times. And so I thought, oh man, okay. I went down and I said, hey, I want to buy this guy's gas. How much is it? And Gana looked at me and was kind of like, okay, 150 baht. And so I gave Gana 150 baht, and we got gas, and the guy was, wow, really thankful, and got on his motorcycle and went on his way. And anyways, fast forward a week, and I'm up at Daichi's house, and I'm sitting in the house after our program. We're all eating this delicious pig together. Oh man, these pork ribs that Daichi's dad barbecued up. Whoa, lights out. Anyways, and this guy sits down next to me, starts talking, we're having a chat, and then he says, I don't think you recognize me, but last week I was driving my motorcycle and we stopped to get gas, and you came down and bought the gas for me. And I'm Daichi's uncle. And I was just like, what? Wow, that's amazing. I had no idea. And then he said, the other amazing part is I only had 50 baht left to my name. I couldn't actually afford to pay for the gas. I was going to have to ask Gana if I could borrow money from him or take a loan and have to like find some money somewhere else to pay for the gas. But I really needed enough gas just to get me home. And then you came and filled up the tank and paid for it. And it's amazing because, when we follow God, when we listen to these little nudges of God, he's got this awesome plan that we can bless each other. We can, man, I just don't have the words to explain, but, and anyway, so we're all sitting around, we're eating together, and we're talking together, and Daichi's uncle and Daichi's dad are sitting with me, and we're all chatting. And, Daichi's uncle says, I don't think you would be here. I don't think that you'd have done a village program here if you had never met Daichi, if it wasn't for him. And I said, absolutely, I would not have come here. Like, I would never have come to this little tiny village and done this program unless I had a reason. And the reason was because of Daichi. And I just said to them, like, and every smile on the kids' faces, we had maybe 50 or 60 kids at the village program, and a whole handful of moms and dads watching as we did this program. And our team just did an awesome job. They just were on 5-star program that day. One of the most powerful, just spirit-filled programs I'd ever seen. I've seen 10 years worth of these programs, and this was just one of the most amazing programs. And the kids were howling and laughing and just engaged. And I just thought every smile, every blessing that we were able to bring to the village, our medics carried medicine up. And this village has no clinic, no medicine. And our medics treated 75 patients in the village during the day, during the morning. And these are people who normally never would have gotten access to a medic or medicine had we not come there. And I just said, all of that is the memory of Daichi, the legacy of him just being an amazing guy, one of the most honorable men, one of the most dedicated soldiers, just an outstanding individual. And because of that friendship, because of our relationship, we went to that village. And because we went to that village, we were able to bless that family. We're able to bless the villagers. And we plan to adopt that village. And we plan to come back over time. And they've asked us for some solar to put in the school. They have a little school in the village, and they want some solar so they can have lights in the village. And we're going to put in some clean drinking water filters so that they can have clean drinking water in the school and the church and in different places around the village. And we just want to become a blessing to that village, and in honor of my friend Daichi and just his legacy and his memory. And we all sat around crying, and my team outside, I had no idea this was going on, but they had this song, and they came in and said, hey, we want to sing this song for you. And they sang this song that is about, it's a Karen song dedicated to the families of soldiers who have fallen along the way, that they give their lives for their countries. And as we sat and listened to our team sing, we all just burst into tears. And, Daichi's mom is sitting next to me, and she's sobbing. And Daichi's brother and me, and Daichi's brother says, we had a memorial for Daichi, and we've been carrying his grief, and we've been living under this sadness. And it's good for us to cry again today. And now we can move on. The next time we come together, we can take new photos to hang on the wall that are of joyful moments, of buildings. And I just thought about the verse, and I shared this with the family after this song was done. I just said, hey, there's that verse in Ecclesiastes that says, there's a season for everything. There's a time to be born, a time to die, a time to cry, a time to mourn, a time to rejoice, a time to celebrate, a time to build, a time to tear down. And I said, right now, today is going to be a time to cry. And that's okay. That's okay. And the next time we come is going to be a time to build, a time to celebrate, a time to rejoice. And the seasons that we get to take these snapshots, these selfies together and hang them on the wall, not all of them will make us cry. Others, when we look back at them, will make us laugh. They'll make us smile. And I'm so thankful for the photos that Deichi and I took together. And I just cherish those photos so much right now. And anyways, it was such a special day. Some tears shed, but just really holy and special tears, and new relationships made. And I just thank God that we're able to do this. I just thank God that we're here. I just can't believe it that we're here doing this. And it's pretty crazy. We're now taking a 2-day break where we recoup, and some of our plans have been disrupted because of the Battle of Papoon that's happening over the mountain. And a lot of the villages that we planned to go to have now actually fled and are living in the jungle or have moved away while the battle is taking place because of the bombings, the jet bombings, and the retaliation from the Burma army. And so we're now kind of revamping our schedule and figuring out where we want to go, where we can go. And yeah, we're going to look at the logistics. And yeah, we faced a few setbacks, just some bumps in the road, lessons learned along the way. This is the first time I've ever done this on my own without FBR. And so there's things that either FBR doesn't do just because they've been doing it for 20 years. They don't need to do certain things, or happen in the background unbeknownst to us foreigners. But yeah, there's things that I've been learning as we're moving around on mission, and just some bumps along the road. And then also we just got some news last night that was really just hard, disappointing news that our land that we went and found for the school, they want another meeting before they're willing to let us start building there. And yeah, and so I just wanted that to be over with. And I kind of felt like, oh, we found the land, and now the hardest part is over. Once we found the land, the spot that we wanted. And I don't know why, I just kind of thought yeah, we found the land, now Satan will bugger off and go find someone else to bug, because he was really making that process difficult for us. But I don't know why I thought that he would just leave us alone. He doesn't want the discipleship school to be built. And so there's just a lot of hurdles and opposition and relational things that I suck at and that I don't enjoy doing but need to do, and keep coming up with these requirements. And so yeah, you can just be praying for that, praying for us as we, hopefully we can have these meetings and get land sorted out and finally approved so that we can start building. But then also just pray for us as we're on this mission. We feel like we're in the halfway point, and just thank God for leading us. Thank God for his protection and provision, and pray for us in these next couple of days of rest. But yeah, I just want to, I don't know why, but every time I record a podcast, I think of my buddy Cam. I was thinking about my buddy Brett the other day too. And so I just want to give a couple shout outs to them, and also for the Whittisley family for all their love and support, and just helping financially make this happen. And we're just so blessed by you guys, and we love you guys a lot. And yeah, the lessons that you're teaching me and helping me with are also things that are helping shape our team. And so we're super thankful for that. And yeah, and for all my friends in Emo, Ontario, I've been thinking about you guys lately. Looking forward to coming back to North America in the summer and being with you all. I miss you guys a lot. And yeah, my plans for the summer, I'm heading to Denver on August 23rd. And then, yeah, looking for some churches to be speaking at and sharing some of the story of the Jungle Discipleship School and just what's going on over in my ministry here in Burma. And I'm thankful you guys are part of it. And I'm thankful for you guys that pray for us. And I'm thankful for you guys that listen to the podcast and share it and encourage me and encourage our team. And yeah, Mrs. Adams, Hannah, at Cornerstone Christian School, her class sent me a video the other day just saying hi and that they love us and that they're praying for us, and then just little things like that. It was such a blessing. We're super thankful for that. And I last time I was in Burma recording a podcast, I made some inside joke that Grace Koistra, I've totally outed her now, was embarrassed about. And so I'm thankful for all of you guys there in that community and who love and support us and encourage us. And I'm just blessed by you guys. And so I just want to close out with a prayer, and then off I go, probably jumping in this river that I've been soaking my feet in. You know how many podcasts have a waterfall and there's like rapids behind me and the sound of a river in the background? But I think it's pretty awesome. What a blessing. What a lucky thing it is to live this awesome life. So with that, Father, Jesus, Holy Spirit, wow. Thank you that I'm here, that we're here. Thank you that you've got us exactly where you want us. And that you give us these little nudges along the way to do things, to follow you, sometimes around the world to the jungle, sometimes to just go and pay for somebody's gas, sometimes to go and pray for somebody. And yeah, Jesus, I just thank you that you're with us. And I just ask for 2 days of rest and recovery. I ask for unity among our team. And I ask for a blessing for those that are listening to this podcast, that you would just be real to them, that you would tune their ears and their hearts to hear your voice, your gentle whisper, and to feel your nudges in their life. I thank you for Deichi and his life. I thank you that Deichi is with you now and that he's not in pain anymore, that he is healed, that his body is healed, and that his heart is healed. And I just pray for his family that are still mourning, that are still crying months later after the loss. And I just pray your hug over them. I just pray your comfort over them. And those that are listening, you know, we each face our own challenges. And I just pray that you would be a God of comfort today, that you would meet us where we're at, whether it's driving, whether it's Stacy out on her farm, or Cam under the engine of a big diesel rig, or anyone just listening to the podcast, that you meet us where we're at and you are our comfort, that we sense your comfort and we can turn to you for relief from the stress of the day. We can turn to you for relief from the tired muscles and bodies that we have, and that we can turn to you for relief of our worn out hearts and weary hearts. We just proclaim the river of life flowing from your throne, saturating our lives, saturating all around us, above us, surrounding us, below us, beside us, soaking our tired hearts. We ask all of this in Jesus' name. Amen.